Hello everyone and good day to you. This is Roger with Groovis Games Unlimited with Dungeon Crusade and the Avalon Adventure board game. I hope you're doing great and thank you so much for your time and interest. I hope that you're enjoying the series. I want to start real quickly by saying the last few videos were a little bit long, but I wanted to get all of that information out to you. So hopefully from here on out, we're going to try to be more peppy and a little more quick for you and get back to hopefully a 3 to 6 minute format. So again, thank you for joining me for this. For this next video in the series, we're going to kind of go back a little bit. We just talked about the 3 different quest tables, and we were just talking about the 60 unique quests in Dungeon Crusade. But what I would like to do is, and I think you would enjoy it, why don't we go over how to set a quest up. This is the quest we were looking at right here, A Mother's Request. And I think it'd give you some good information, and you'll find this system very interesting. How each game, the quest items, the monsters will always change. Again, that's this. Every time you play Dungeon Crusade, it's something new. You can play the same scenario and everything will change. So I thought it'd be a good time to go over this and discuss this a little bit. Okay, and what I would like to do is read you the short story associated with this quest, and then right away we'll just get into the objective and how to set this quest up. So we get into focus here. And like I said, okay, A Mother's Request. This is a main quest. You can see at the top left, and this is for the ancient runes. Early one morning, a weeping mother approaches the heroes and asks to speak with them. She explains her young daughter is deathly ill and asks for their assistance in helping her. She tells the heroes that long ago, her great-grandfather once spoke of a magical chalice that was broken in two and placed within the ancient runes. He made mention of areas such as the Chamber of Kings and Ogre's Lair. She also knows of an area of the dungeon known as the Well of Eternity. The waters within this well will mend the chalice and provide the water to quite possibly heal her daughter. She thanks the heroes for anything they can do to save her young daughter's life. So that's the setup for the story for A Mother's Request. So let's flip the card over and take a look at the objective and how to set it up. Okay, and here is the reverse side. And like we discussed in the prior video, at the top left you can see that's the yellow gem. So that tells us this is a level 2 quest. And over to the far right, the heroes will receive 500 gold and 7 life force. And think of life force as XP in Dungeon Crusade. And right here at the objective, the heroes must journey into the Chamber of Kings, north and south, Ogre's Lair, east and west, for possible locations where the chalice pieces may be residing. And then once they have the 2 pieces, they have to head to the Well of Eternity and clear the chambers of the monsters to purify the well once again. And then a hero has to stand adjacent to the well, which will mend the chalice and then provide the healing waters. So we're going to go take a look at these areas here in a moment, and then we're going to talk about setup. And I really think you're going to enjoy how the quest system is in Dungeon Crusade. But remember, there are a few different types of quests in the game, but this will give you a good idea what many of them are like. So let's go look at these areas real quick. And here we are in the Chamber of Kings area of the dungeon. They're known as quadrants. So right here we have Chamber of Kings North. Every quadrant in Dungeon Crusade is 6 squares by 6 squares. That defines a quadrant. So Chamber of Kings North is right here, these 2 chambers. And then of course, Chamber of Kings South is right here, these 2 chambers. So remember, kind of some homework for you for Dungeon Crusade. A quadrant is simply a 6 by 6 area of the dungeon. Okay, let's move over and see the other locations. Okay, and here is that other area of the dungeon where the chalice pieces could be residing. We're over here at Ogre's Lair West. Remember, quadrant 6 by 6. And over here at Ogre's Lair East, and again, 6 by 6. So from the Chamber of Kings North and South and the Ogre's Lair, the chalice pieces are going to be in one of these chambers, or actually two, because the chalice is in two pieces, and I'll show you those chalice pieces in a moment. Finally, let's take a look at the Well of Eternity area. And finally, here we are at the Well of Eternity area. So there's only two chambers here, and remember, our quest said that we had to, or our heroes had to clear out any chambers in the Well of Eternity to purify the well. And there is the well right there. Okay, so let's go back over there, and let me show you how to set up a quest in Dungeon Crusade. And since we're doing quest setup, I want to introduce you guys to this certain monster deck right here. This is known as the Champion Monster Decks. There's level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. And as you can imagine, as the levels go up, the monsters get more nastier, can do more damage, and have some quite dangerous special abilities, especially level 4 monsters. But these are all associated with the quest in the game. Champion monsters reside in the chambers of the dungeon and are usually safeguarding the quest items your heroes need. Also, notice these tokens here. These are the champion monster tokens. And just like our decks here, there's level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. So just picture it like this. Okay, so we're over here on the setup for a mother's request. And the first thing it's telling us to do is pull 6 level 2 champion monster tokens. Next, it's telling us to pull 2 level 3 monster tokens. And finally, these are the empty chamber tokens. You'll see the beauty of these in just a moment. And so notice here, the sides have this swirly background, so you won't know what's what. Okay, so before we go on with the quest items, the setup is telling us to shuffle all these together. Of course, you don't want to look. Okay, and then you're going to place one in those chambers that we just looked at. We'll go over this for you so you can see everything. But already, you might see where this is going. Where's the level 2 monsters at? Where's the level 3? Where are those empty chambers? Okay, let's head back over to the dungeon and place our tokens. Remember, you can never look at these. I'll meet you back in the dungeon. Okay, and here we are back in the Chamber of Kings north and south area of the dungeon. And I have those monster tokens right here, all shuffled up. And of course, remember, you never look at these. So the quest told us we have to place 1 monster token in each of those chambers. So we're going to take the top one, place it in Chamber of Kings North, and that one. Take another one, place it here, and then over here in Chamber of Kings South, place it here, and finally over here in Chamber of Kings South. So this part is set up now. Let's go over to Ogre's Lair next. Okay, and here we are in our Ogre's Lair West and East. And remember, quadrant, 6 by 6 area of the dungeon. The whole dungeon is made up of those types of quadrants. So we're going to go to our champion monster token stack, place 1 there, place 1 there. Finally, let's go over to the Well of Eternity area. Okay, here we are back in the Well of Eternity, and there's our champion monster tokens. And again, we're going to place 1 in each chamber here, and that's done. Now, this is a big rule, no cheating. You're going to notice you don't look at these. You're going to have a few tokens left, and all of the quests in the game that use this system, sometimes you're going to have 4 left, sometimes you're going to have 3. My point is, you don't look at these, because then you're going to ruin that element of surprise that we all like in dungeon crawl games. What's in the chamber? So what you're going to do is just set these far away now and don't look at them. So from that system I just showed you, and you might see where this is going, this is why Dungeon Crusade is so replayable. So where is the level 2 monsters? Where are they? Here? Where's the level 3 champion monsters? Are they here? Maybe they're over here in Chamber of Kings North and South. Every time you play, those monsters are going to change. Remember, you're going to be pulling from the champion monster deck, level 2 and level 3. That's always going to change for you. That's just one of the things that I wanted to accomplish with Dungeon Crusade, to make it truly replayable. The quest items and monsters will always change. Finally, let's get our quest items and set that up in the chambers we just looked at. Okay, and finally, we're gonna look at these last few lines in our quest card here, and it's telling us that we're gonna need 4 blank quest tokens, and of course the 2 chalice pieces, the quest items. So just want to show you that there is a token in the game. There's over 70 unique quest items in the game. So remember, with the upcoming mode with quest challenges, you can design your own quests like you're seeing here. Write a story. What kind of monsters do you want to have in your quest or your scenario, and have at it. So I just wanted to show you there is a mended chalice. But for what the quest is telling us here, you're going to notice that all the quest items have the same backing. Quest item. These are known as blank quest items. Okay, so there's our 4. And here are those 2 broken chalice pieces like the mother of this girl was telling us about. Okay, so on our quest card, it's going to tell you you're going to flip these over and give them a good shuffle so you don't know, where those chalice pieces are. Okay, we're going to go back over to Chamber of Kings and Ogre's Lair, and we're going to plant our quest items. I will see you in the dungeon. Okay, and here we are back in the Chamber of Kings. I'm going to set our stack of quest items down, and like the quest said, we're going to take one, we're going to place it in Chamber of Kings North, take the other one, place it right here in the other chamber, and then finally over here in Chamber of Kings South, and over here in the last Chamber of Kings South. All right, let's head over to Ogre's Lair and finish this up. Okay, and here we are in Ogre's Lair, and here's your pop quiz. What is a quadrant? I think I heard Jason or Paul say the right answer. You are correct. 6 by 6 square area of the dungeon. The whole dungeon is made up by these quadrants. Okay, back to our quest items. We're going to take this last one, put it here in the Chamber of Ogre's Lair West. Finally, we'll put the other one over here in Ogre's Lair East. Now, my friends, where are those chalice pieces? You're going to have to send your heroes into the dungeon and scout out where those quest items are, and then head over here to Well of Eternity, clear those chambers, and then go over here to the well and mend the chalice pieces. But with the system, as you can see, with the monsters, the quest items, everything changes in the dungeon, and there's much, much more that goes into this dungeon that's randomly generated. But I really enjoyed going over this with you, and you can see even more of what Dungeon Crusade has to offer. Okay, let's set the camera up and wrap this all up. And actually, before we wrap this up, I thought this would be important to go over for you. Remember these tokens here? Another pop quiz. What are these? I'm waiting for someone to say it. Champion monster tokens. So let me say that when I created all the quests for the game, I had to be appropriate for the monsters your heroes will encounter. So for example, remember we were talking about our quest tables, level 1, level 2, and level 3. So you can expect, and I'm just using these, there could be even more of these certain monster tokens depending on the quest. When your heroes are working on quest table 1, there's a really good chance they're going to run into level 1 monsters like you saw in that setup. There's a good chance there's going to be level 2 monsters. There's a slight chance they could run into a level 2, or a very slight chance they might get an empty chamber. Again, you will never know what's in there until your heroes explore. And remember, all the monsters will change. When your heroes are working on quest table number 2, there's a great chance, or quest for quest table 2, there's a great chance they're going to run into level 2 monsters. There's also a slight chance they're going to run into level 3 champion monsters, and again, slight chance they're going to find an empty chamber. Finally, when they're working on that quest table 3, they're going to be working on level 3 quests. There's a very good chance they're going to run into level 3 monsters, slight chance of level 4 champion monsters, and these are wicked monsters, and there's a slight chance they're going to run into an empty chamber. So I just wanted to go over that with you, and just as the creator, I didn't want to design something where a level 1 quest and a level 3 champion monster could pop up. But you do have a tough challenge if you have level 1 heroes going in to encounter a level 2 monster. It's a tough battle. Dungeon Crusade is a tough game. So this just makes sense if, say you're level 1 and you want to challenge your heroes and you're speccing them out with great gear and power gems, through mining and crafting. You're more than free to try to go to complete quest and quest table 2. I would not try 3. So my point is this scales very nicely for you. Now with the new quest challenges mode, or if you're planning to create your own quest and scenarios, my friends, you do whatever you want. If you want a bunch of level 3 monsters to show up and only a few level 2, have at it. If you want more empty chambers to show up and just a bunch of level 1 monsters, go right ahead. But hopefully you can see from especially this video everything that Dungeon Crusade has to offer with the quest system. And lastly, as I've always said, feel free to tweak and adjust this. Say you're just starting out and we have a quest like this where it tells us to pull the level, 4 level 1 and level 2. Maybe you don't want to do that. Don't listen to what I say. Take these out, put some level 1s in there, or make it all like level 1, level 2, level 3. As long as you're having fun, it's all that matters, right? Okay, let's pull the camera back and wrap this up. Okay, everyone, we are at the end of another showcase video, and I hope that you enjoyed this one. This one ran over a couple minutes longer, but you know what? I'd like to spend quality time with you and teach you what I can about Dungeon Crusade. And I hope that you really enjoyed this quest system. There's a couple things I want you to kind of go home with, pro Crusader tips. If you're new at Dungeon Crusade, those champion monster decks we were just checking out. Each of those champion monster decks have these, there's 2 of each card in here. And these are known as dual monster chamber cards. And what that means is, since you kind of know the quest system now, when your heroes venture into a chamber, there's usually 1 monster in there that they have to defeat. Rallying heroes, we're going to be talking about that in a few videos from now. Very important. True party building. Another thing that was paramount in making Dungeon Crusade. But you're going to notice that sometimes you might run into a dual monster chamber. The game is already tough. This is really tough. What that means is you have to fight 2 champion monsters to get that quest item, not just 1. And you must slay the champion monster before looking at the quest item. I would recommend taking these cards out. If you're just getting into this, you're getting acclimated to it, take each of there's 2 of them in each deck. Go ahead and just take those out, or maybe just leave 1 in. But I would recommend taking these out just to make it easier for you while you're learning the game. Lastly, and we'll be talking about this in the showcase series, I just pulled these in as an example. These are 2 level 2 champion monsters. This is Keeper of the Faith. You're going to notice there's a silver star here and a gold star. These are normal champion monsters. These are elites. This is where you're going to find all the origin stories I wrote for every monster in the game. So normal versions just have an origin story, silver star. However, when you see a gold star, your heroes have encountered an elite champion monster. They have a nasty special ability. Again, to make it a little easier for you, I would recommend going through each of the monster decks and pulling out these elite monsters. So I would just play with just the normal version monsters where they just have an origin story. Again, just to get you acclimated to the game. Then maybe, put these back in and then slowly introduce the dual monster chambers back to your decks. Again, just another way to play Dungeon Crusade and the experience that you want to have with the game. Okay guys, that's it for me. I hope that you enjoyed this and learned even more. Next video is going to be a fun one. We're going to close out the quest system with the key system. In Dungeon Crusade, I have a key system. Thank you to Atari Adventure, one of my favorite games of all time when I was a kid. We're going to talk about the 4 keys. Your heroes are going to need certain keys to get into certain chambers of the dungeon. So it's a really cool, easy to learn, intricate system. And I think we'll have a good time doing that. And before anyone asks, no, your barbarian Mahaliak cannot bash down a locked door. You're going to need the associated key. And it's associated with the colored bases, okay? So we'll chat about that in the next video, which I'd like to have out tomorrow for you. I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you again for your time. And we have much more in store for you with Dungeon Crusade. And again, pledge manager below, late pledging, and I'll be posting some of the proofs that the manufacturer printed out. So it's getting close to print time, guys. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.